thank you guys for coming out and missing the season premiere of Jersey Shore. I appreciate it. Thank you. What is it? Jersey Shore. There's these clowns, and they wear sparkly shirts, and they put a lot of stuff in their hair. They grow up to be you, so, I mean, Shark Week? Well, you don't have to be here all week. Like, you can go home, right? You don't have to stay all week, I swear to God. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, before I introduce our major region headliner, I want to thank you guys for coming to the second installment of A Night of Comedy. I appreciate it. Give yourselves a round of applause. But see, the problem is that we put the invite on the Facebook. I don't know if you guys, I like how I call it the Facebook. Like, I'm at that age right now where I'm at the Facebook. But we put the invite on Facebook, and what's interesting is, like, there's a lot of people who respond yes or respond maybe. But more interesting is the people that decline the list. And it's a pretty interesting list because I went through the list to see the people decline. And apparently a good majority of the people who decline are people that Robert here has either lied to or tried to have sex with or has led astray in some way, shape, or form. Well, no, like, we got the decline list right here, and personally, my mother did not raise me that way. Like, it's deplorable. It's deplorable. I learned that word 2 days ago. It's deplorable. It's terrible. So I feel... That's a West Side Community. Bradley just started for you, and she's like 8 shots to the wind with like a 30-second win count. Like, shoot. That's from public school. Well, here's the thing for you. This is how I feel. Because of the decline list and that it was so high, I feel that some of these people on the decline list that you should give a public apology to. Do you guys feel that he should give a public apology to these poor girls that he's never saved? Let's see. We're going to start Stacy Hamilton. Do you know her? Yeah. Stacy Hamilton? Is that your daughter? Is she here? Stacy, are you here? Stacy Hamilton. Stacy Hamilton. What did you do? How did I get your pants? Yeah, what happened?
Stacy, if you're here, I'm sorry for telling you I was a professional volleyball player. Surprisingly enough, I'm not.
Like, Mexicans don't even play volleyball. It's stupid. Like, what? Like, really? Pele?
I did play.
Oh, you played?
Soccer.
Oh, you played soccer? Surprising. That's like me playing basketball. Relax. Like, calm down. Who's Raina Smith? Who's Raina Smith?
Raina?
Do you know her?
Raina, I am sorry for getting in your pants by telling you that I invented the Dougie.
I mean, that's an easy thing. That guy's dead, so yeah, you can tell it all day how you want. Who is Candy Walls? That's a weird name. Candy Walls? Candy Walls. Who is that? You know who that is?
Candy, I'm sorry for getting about 18 lap dances from you and stuffing $10,000 worth of Monopoly money in your G-string.
Nice. That's an orange kind too, right?
Yeah.
That's retarded. What?
These aren't all me.
Most of them are you.
They're not all me.
Most of them are you. So our next...
Keith, no.
Keith, no.
I have a list of girls that Keith has.
Keith don't know no girls. Keith don't know no girls.
I'm gonna hold my butt flip.
He likes to piss off and alienate people. I like that London guy.
Keith, I have a list of girls that Keith is pissed off.
Like who?
Would you guys like to hear that list?
Like who?
That's a
Like who?
Keith, who's Maya Roleski?
Oh. Alright, I want to apologize to Maya Roleski for lying to her and telling her that I was Kanye West's stepbrother, Kanye East. I apologize. It works though, it's called point, I mean. Good points.
Let's get on the list.
It's worked at least 4 times. There's not anybody else on that list.
Who's Jennifer Collins?
Ooh. Jennifer Collins. I want to apologize to Jennifer Collins for blacking out in her basement and masturbating in her mom's ShamWow. But for the record, the ShamWow does clean up very well. Like, it cleans up very well. I swear to God, I know. You have a ShamWow? Are you pissed over there? I apologize. I'm sorry. ShamWows do clean up well, though. They soak up everything. I'm sorry. That's got to be the whole list, right?
No, there's one more on here.
What?
Myers Castle. Why?
The whole Myers Castle?
The whole, I don't know. It was declined Myers Castle. Shut up.
I'm sorry for making out with the peacock at Myers Castle. I apologize. It's a pretty peacock. It's like a nice shade of blue. Have you seen it?
Yeah!
It's gorgeous. It almost looks like you. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Just call his girlfriend peacock?
No, I call the peacock his girlfriend. It's different. Totally different. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for your headliner? Your main event. Your main event. Give me the paper. Give me the paper. Give me the paper. Give me Ross's credentials right now. Ross, I know, performs at the Spot on Broadway in Chicago. I know he does jokes and notes in Chicago.
He is also competing in a comedian tournament at the Rimmel Tango Theater in Chicago.
Ladies and gentlemen, your main event, your headliner, introducing, put your hands together for Ross Blankenship.
Aside, I've been hanging out with David for a while. That was the funniest I've ever seen him be. That's the best that I've ever seen him do. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, nice work. Zodiac. Oh, it's packed in here. It looks like the place to be on the square tonight, right, guys? Yeah, just keep it going. Oh yeah. I'm just gonna say comments that everyone agrees with all night. That's my plan. No, actually, I performed here last month, but I guess I didn't realize that all the zodiac signs, the astrological signs, are painted on a wall over there. And for the people who are in that other room, it's up on the wall. Because I'm not into astrology, so when the whole time, in my head, zodiac, I would think the first thing in my mind was the Zodiac killer. The Zodiac serial killer. I was like, well, that's a little bit of a. That's an interesting name. We're gonna open up, Dahmer's. Don't eat there. Can't decide where to begin. I did, all right, I'll tell this story because it's such a great, big audience tonight. It feels great to have such a good crowd. On Tuesday night, I was at a place where there wasn't that much of a crowd, but I was working out new stuff. And what was crazy was there were 3 or 4 people who were not my mom in the crowd. And one of them was a freaking heckler. What are the odds of that 25% of your audience heckles you? And this was the joke I did, so I'm about to do the bit. Over this past weekend, this is a true story, and it was a news story, so I'm not making this story up. A man in Mississippi was arrested for sleeping in the passenger seat of his car while his 8-year-old son was driving on an interstate highway. That's the true story, and he got arrested for that, and people think oh, that's a bad parenting move. But it was Mississippi, so they were at the same, education level. They didn't, it wasn't that bad. And that 8-year-old kid, he better be able to drive on an interstate highway, 8 years old. If he's got a chance of being a NASCAR driver, which, let's be honest, is his only ticket out of the trailer park, he better be able to drive and Bumpkin's racing. He better be able to keep it under control on an interstate. I told that joke, and then the far back, sitting by himself, and he was actually the only guy in the whole area was like, hey, when you tell that joke in Mississippi, do you say it happened in Mississippi? And so, well, the short answer is yes, because it happened in Mississippi. I can't change the news, like that's where it happened. And the second one is it's pretty hard to do shows in Mississippi anyways, because like they don't have electricity and they explain everything. That's how I started this, I guess. Somebody made a comment that this wasn't a very political crowd, which is perfect with me because I'm not a very political person. But I think about politics once in a while. Like, here's my thing: if you want me to vote, you want my vote, send me a dick pic. That's what I mean. Like, I'm sorry. And don't resign afterwards. Like, own up to it. I actually think it would be pretty easy to win a presidential election just if you ran at like a popularity contest in high school. Like at the debate, your opponent would go first. They ask him like about creating jobs, and he'd lay out some real well thought out plan and blah, blah, blah. You're not paying attention. Who cares? And then so they ask you, like, what's your rebuttal? I'll be like, okay, yeah, that sounded all right, but here's my idea. I'm going to start a federal free pizza agency. When I'm president, you call up the free pizza agency every Friday, free pizza at your house. Is it going to be what toppings? Pepperoni, nothing else. Pepperoni's the only pizza I'll eat. That's a side note you guys don't need to know. And then my opponent's going to be like, excuse me, mister, because I'm not going to be a senator or have rank. Those are like, Mr. Blankenship, that was pretty irrelevant. I'm like, you want to fight? You want to fight? And the reporters go, fight. Why are we doing this? We're adults. We got degrees in journalism. I'm like, look, the bottom line is you don't want this dude to be president because he's a virgin. And everyone's like, oh, I'm not going to vote for a virgin. I'm not a virgin. So I would win. Kind of landslide. But if I did, I'd be the worst president ever, hands down. Like, I thought about it. It would be terrible. Like, most presidents struggle, like, to maintain the economy or deal with foreign relations. I would be the first president ever where, like, my biggest issue was cleaning my fucking room. Like, it would be, the Secret Service would be like, Mr. President, can't even see the floor in here. This is ridiculous. How old is that pizza? How many Free Fridays ago did you get that one? Another thing I'd do if I was president that would probably I'd catch a lot of flack is I would spend all of your tax dollars for my Iron Man suit. I'm sorry, they're shutting down the shuttle missions in NASA. There's a lot of smart people without jobs. They could do it now. For me. Yeah. Like, you're paying your taxes for it, but it's not going to benefit you. It's for me. And like another thing I would do that everybody would be like complaining about probably, I would have all of my presidential speeches written and prepared by Kanye West, because like, first of all, that leaves no one left who doesn't work for me that has the balls to say I don't care about black people. And second of all, I don't really like have like any strong positions. I just want my speeches to be auto-tuned. Like, that's all I want. It's like, it make the State of the Union a lot easier to watch. You wouldn't be like, oh, I'm missing the Bachelorette. Nobody watched the Bachelorette. I mentioned earlier about how I want my candidate to send me a dick pic. I mean, it doesn't have to be like on the phone. It can be a door-to-door campaign. All I'm saying is, you know, show me what you're working with. I guess if I was a politician, that would be a good policy. I can't hear anything from. Are you guys hearing this? There's like a brick wall. I know that. There's not like a small holes. But are you laughing in there? No. Oh. Yeah. Wow. It is so much harder to like perform in a room that you're not actually in. It's so much harder to pull off. I don't know how the comedians on TV do it. Because it's actually weird, if this was TV, I would be ignoring all of you and looking straight into that camera. None of you would even feel like I was acknowledging your existence. Shouldn't have resigned, because you know why? It's his right as an American to send a dick pic. You can do that. It's in the Constitution. So the founding fathers were smart guys. They had the foresight to stick that in there. I didn't read the Constitution. It should be in there. I mean, Benjamin Franklin, I can't believe he let that Constitution get published without a clause about dick pics being okay. I could just see a brainstorming session like at Independence Hall. They're like, so, all right, guys, what do we want to put in this Constitution? Somebody's like, how about freedom for everyone? We could do that? And Thomas Jefferson's like, no, Thomas Jefferson, talk about possessive boyfriends. Ugh, what a creep. Like, no, we're not giving freedom to everybody. And like somebody else was like, well, how about women, rights for women? And James Madison, I'm saying James Madison because that's another person people have heard of. Like James Madison's like, no, I don't think we should give them rights either. Well, what about the hot ones? Especially not the hot ones. And I'm like, you know what? You guys are being immature. Benjamin, Frankenstein. And they probably had cool nicknames. They're like, what are you working on? You're drawing something. He's like, well, I'm working on... He had his bifocals. Well, I'm working on an invention called an iPhone. And it's going to take pictures. And the reason that it'll take pictures is so that I can photograph my wiener and send it to whoever I want. And people will be like, oh, nobody wants to see your old balls, Benjamin Franklin. Syphilis? He had syphilis. You guys are a historical audience. Actually, Nathan's here. He's a history buff, not a comedy guy. I'm just kidding. But I'm not. I heard before somebody asked if there were Cubs fans here. Cubs fans, will you make some noise for me? Yeah. All right. Here's a cool chicken or the egg sort of riddle. Like, which came first? You rooting for the Cubs or you becoming an alcoholic? Like, what? I mean, was it a coincidence? Like, or, I see people all the time on Facebook like, OMG, so excited, can't wait to get to Wrigley today. Like, you're not excited to see the Cubbies play. You're excited because you're about to get shit-faced with 40,000 other people. That's a pretty good party, though. I mean, and I hope that the Sox fans weren't laughing too hard because Sox fans, at least those alcoholic Cubs fans can fill up their stadium. I've never seen the cell more than halfway full. Now, granted, it's a little bit of a different area. Like if we're being honest, which I'm always honest, honest Dave. He was another founding father, right? I know he wasn't, Nathan. I know he wasn't. No, if we're being honest, you walk 2 blocks away from the cell. You're in an episode of The Wire. It gets real fast. That's just how that joke goes. I would love to do my NFL lockout stuff with those a-holes that came to an agreement, like adults. It's when Randy Moss retired. Nobody left in that league with any work ethic. Some people are like, Randy Moss doesn't have any work ethic. People are taking it too serious. You know who, like, the people who I feel like are the biggest morons in the world? The people who will start an argument trying to argue with you that soccer is cooler than football. You know, people like that? Like, people are like, well, soccer's better because this, like, yeah, because the games last all day long and nobody ever scores and it ends in a tie. Sounds awesome. People hand out cards like you're at recess. Like, yeah, it goes... Yeah, you need to sit out for the rest of the time. God, give him a 15-yard penalty and keep going. Who cares? We're all adults. I don't know what's more exciting, the Major League Soccer playoffs or the WNBA Slam Dunk Contest. Oh, yeah. I don't. That's a good debate. Like, that's a tough question. Which one would you? You had tickets. Where would you go? 2 tickets same night. WNBA slam dunk contest, Major League Soccer playoffs. And at least you know the WNBA slam dunk contest will end eventually. Like, it's not like when you're at a soccer game, it's like, oh, when is the commercials? I don't even know. They don't have, I think the best sport ever, which they stopped running, is like gladiator battles. That was the coolest sport ever. It was the sport of kings, I think. Yeah. But what was the coolest part about it was you had to work with what you had. Like, not everyone got the same equipment, not everyone got the same weapons. There was like, you know, it was like there was always one guy in every gladiator battle or movie or TV show who's just swinging a big-ass net. Like, he has no sword, no shield, just that gladiator guy with a big-ass net. Like, is that, really? You guys ran out of swords and shields and you just start handing fishing gear out? Is that how this works? I'd be pretty salty about it if I was the guy in line for the net. The only guy who would complain more is the guy behind me who had a bucket of night crawlers. Just like running around, just like throwing handles like, yeah, that sucks. Those guys, I've never seen a gladiator movie where the guy with the net didn't die. Like, he's always one of the first ones. Makes sense. He's got a stupid ass weapon. NASCAR. Soccer makes me want to watch NASCAR. And that is a tough thing to do. Because I'm not a NASCAR fan. You know, the people who think NASCAR is a sport, oddly enough, are the exact same people who think Walmart is a shopping mall. Have you guys noticed that Venn diagram is all in the middle? Yeah. I understand that NASCAR is pretty popular. I mean, they're filling up their stadiums. What are those fans cheering? Like, at a basketball game, you can hear stuff like, defense, defense, or something like that. At NASCAR, what are they like? Drive faster! Keep turning left! Keep turning left, Dale! Junior! I use Dale Jr. because he's like the only one I know. Because his shit is all over Walmart. You can't walk through Walmart without seeing Dale Jr. stuff everywhere. Oh. Hey, make some noise for me if you're in love. If you're in love in the house tonight, wow. Ooh. A lot of people. Okay, but just to clarify, we will all die alone. Like, so we're even. Those of you who are quiet, like, don't worry. The finish line, everybody finishes last. That's how it goes. But anyways, I like asking that question to audiences because you can learn a lot about the audience just based on the response. Like, there are some people where, like, one of the partners in the relationship is very enthusiastic and the other one not so much. Like, kind of like, and so you know, like, that's not a match made by eHarmony, right? And then there are, like, the couples where they're both very excited, like, very, very excited. And what's cool about those, when you see those, you don't see them all that often, but when you do, because you know, like, right then, even though they're both so enthusiastic and excited, one of them is going to kill the other one, eventually. Like, that's the only way that goes, because things have a problem. So that's the horrifying kind of love. Like, if I can't love them, nobody will. You already said, like, one in five relationships starts on an online dating site. How many relationships that start out of those 1 in 5 end in a murder-suicide? Right? The number is not 0. It's higher than it's not. You know that there's a stat for everything. Nathan? Is that what you did? You, like, read your tax forms or something?
I was tweeting.
I'm kidding.
I was tweeting on one side, there's 3 gorgeous ladies in the other.
Okay. I really, like, I can't stand some of, like, the cliches that go with love, like, love is blind. No, it's not. My love has 20/20 vision. You can speak for your own. Last time I checked, love is blind. That's a saying we made up to say to people like the Elephant Man. Like, we had something to say when he was always the third wheel. Even like the Elephant Man. It's like, love is blind. You're gonna be fine. Oh, it's not. I like seeing, you see this a lot, like a really beautiful woman who's in a relationship with a very ugly man, like a perfect 10 girl who's dating a 4 of a man, like a man who's a 4. And when you see it, like sometimes you just wonder, like, how does that work? Like, what is it about him that, like, he gets to be with her? Here's his secret. He treats her like garbage. That's a secret. Like, if you get a 10, if you're an ugly man, you get a 10 to date you, you need to keep that self-esteem low. Cheat early and often. Like, that's the only way. Okay, people aren't supporting this position. I mean, I'll just comment on it. Like, usually people are like, yep, that's what he's right. But I will say, it's a pretty even spread. I will say, it looks like everyone, like, matched up with about the right numbers. In one of the crowds, if they're, yeah. You have to comment. It's weird. Like, it's weird when you see a comic on stage and he does a joke and it doesn't go over like he wanted and he just goes to the next joke. It's like, dude, did you not hear the crickets? Like, what? At least comment, like, when did they bring crickets in here? Or like, I just feel like, wow, I've never heard this many, like, alive bodies be so quiet in one place. Sometimes if you're at a club where, this is great because it's a big audience, but sometimes when the audience is really small, like it's a lot of empty seats, I just wish, like, God damn, I wish empty chairs could laugh. Because some of these chairs would be fucking rolling. But it's good that there's not, like, any empty chairs, which is cool. You guys did a great job. Give yourselves a hand. See what this is called? It's called upping the energy again after you guys weren't on board with the shitty joke I told. That's what that is. The magician revealed his secret. I think that I wish relationships, like, operated the same way cell phone contracts do, which if you qualify for an upgrade, just take it. Don't like feel bad. Just don't complain. Feel like, oh, I qualify for an upgrade. I'm not going to stick with my old phone, am I? The one I can't text on, the one that doesn't let me go on the internet, that doesn't let me roam, that doesn't let me do anything. No, I'm going to upgrade. Thank you. Because I qualify. I really think being a beautiful woman, that has to be the life. Is it like, there's some good-looking ladies. Is it awesome? Is it awesome to be a great-looking lady? Okay. I guess it might not be that great, because I think that there are, but people were not on board with that either. I mean, I used to go to a lot of open mics, because I like girls who have a really good sense of humor. And I would go to open mics all over, like, Chicago and stuff, and I would see all these girls at the open mics who were not that attractive. And I would always wonder, like, how come you don't see a lot of really attractive women at comedy, like, at open mics trying to do a stand-up? And it just clicked one day. It's like, because really attractive women don't have to be funny. They just don't. I'm not saying, if you're an attractive woman, I'm not saying you can't be funny. You could be hilarious. I'm just saying it's not a requirement. You're gonna find somebody. Here's a bonus. You don't have to be interesting either. If you're good looking enough, you don't have to be interesting. People will, I'll deal, man. I'll watch TV whenever I can, just so and hear something that makes sense. I like, for people who have been in a relationship for a long time, and you get to that point where you've been together so long, you just, like, you know so much about the other person that you start asking, like, weird questions, like abstract things, like, just be like, hey, do you ever wonder, like, if we stay together for the rest of our lives, do you ever wonder, like, which one of us will die first? It's like, first of all, no. I'm wondering it now, and second of all, now that I think about it, hopefully not me. And that's not, I'm not saying I hope you die, I'm just saying, like, all you have left on your bucket list is a swim with a dolphin. Have you seen mine? It's 4 pages, single-spaced. I need to live a long time. That pause was for me, that was just going to be said. Remember like how easy breakups were before Facebook? Remember how, like, you could just break up with somebody, no one would know about it. You get divorced, go to your 10-year high school reunion and be like, everybody like, hey, where's Deborah? Oh, that bitch? Yeah. We got divorced 4 years ago. But it's cool because she has the kids, so I haven't seen them in 4 years either. That was the toughest part before Facebook was figuring out who would get stuck with the kids, right? Like, my mom drew the short straw when my parents split, but she was the poor sport. She was like, best 2 out of 3, best 2 out of 3. And I was like, whatever, you lost. Quit being a sore sport. You sound like a soccer player. I'm going to Hooters. This divorce doesn't end in a tie. No, you get the kids, you lose. Now that there's Facebook, it's like, oh, all of a sudden, like, relationship breakups matter, and they're gonna, like, affect things. It's like, as soon as you change that relationship status to single, that's like pulling the pin on a grenade. And as soon as you do, everyone will know instantly, like, boom. And all of a sudden, if for guys, all of your buddies are gonna, like that status. It says like 15 times that, right? They're gonna like it and comment like, oh, she was such a whore, blah, blah, blah. And if you're a girl, all of your girlfriends are gonna comment on it and be like, oh, they're gonna say real sweet, sentimental shit. And then there's gonna be one guy on every girl's status when she goes to single that's like, OMG, what happened? Is everything okay? If you need anything, I'll be right here. But guess what? By right here, he's talking about outside your house in his car because he's stalking you. He was waiting for your relationship to die so he could feast on the carcass. That's how those guys think. I joked about it, but I actually do. I hate it when I see people break up. I hate seeing like relationships end, you know? Because I love seeing people who hate each other just stick it out, like just... And all of their friends, like, no one knows when they're together because they just hate this shit out of each other. Wherever they're at, they're like, oh, this is going to be another great night with Rhonda. And they're like, oh, really, Phil? Really? It's going to be a great night of no sex with Phil. See, I learned that from David. Improvised comedy. Has it been too long for a callback to a set that happened 30 minutes ago? I don't know. Some people have, so I don't think so. But people wonder, like, why are they still together? They hate each other. It's obvious. They're still together because now they've invested so much time and they've given so much of their soul, like, sucked out of them by that relationship. They're like, I'm not leaving until I put him in the dirt. When this ends, someone's going to be in a box. I don't want to see his vacation photos on Facebook. I want to send out thank yous for the funeral cards. People, this happened in Indiana. Make some noise for Indiana. You guys are so weird. Nobody in any other state does that. But this happened in Indiana in January. In January, in Indianapolis, a girlfriend stabbed her boyfriend with a knife, stabbed him because he blocked her on Facebook. She stabbed him, I'm going to say this again, she stabbed him with a knife because he blocked her on Facebook. And to me, it's like, I don't know what you could have possibly had on your Facebook profile that was worth getting stabbed over. But I'm pretty sure after the stabbing, you went from in a relationship to it's complicated, like, right? Like, that throws a wrench in things, being stabbed, assaulted with a knife. And stabbing someone over Facebook? Really? Honestly? Oh, you want to stab somebody? Go back to MySpace. AKA the ghetto of the internet. You don't give a shit about what happens on MySpace. Justin Timberlake just bought like a whole shitload of stock on MySpace because he's probably going to sell drugs on MySpace. That's the only thing it's good for. Why don't you, like, if you're going to stab somebody because they blocked you on Facebook anyways, raise the maturity level. Grow up. Quit acting like Chris Brown. Oh, big Chris Brown bit. Oh, God. You guys are going to hate the I Love Rihanna bit I was going to do. That was a two-sided fight. I saw, hey, okay, Keith, when he opened the show, this was a super long time ago, but he did a joke. Some of you liked it. A lot of you probably didn't. He did a joke about if males had periods. And the interesting thing about it was, we were like, this came up in a conversation, and I also wrote a joke about it, but I'm going to do it because it's different, and I'll let the audience reaction decide. Fair enough, let's get a round of applause before I do my joke. Yeah, there we go. So I start off like ahead. But anyways, I hate it like when guys, like when you're hanging out with a guy and he gets in an argument with his girlfriend and he just like carelessly blames it on her having her period. Like, oh, I don't know what her problem is. It must be that time of the month. Like, what a douchey thing to say. Like, I've thought about it. Like, if the tables were turned, if men had periods, if I had a period, and my girlfriend called me up and was like, so, hey, have you checked out the movie times, or what time you want to... Look, I didn't check them out. I didn't get around to it yet. You know, I'm bleeding. I'm bleeding right now. I've been bleeding for 4 days. So get off I'm sorry for snapping. Get off my back about the movie times. Goodbye. And so I hang up the phone, and then she's with her friends like, what was Ross's problem? I don't know. He's just being a bitch. But I was bleeding. See, it's not fair. And women are good about it. There's some women back here, so I'll trust you guys. There's a lot of women back here, actually. Women are good about hiding it, too. Like, lots of times, girls can have their period, and you don't even know. Like, you wouldn't even know. And then, if it was a guy, like, if I had my period, and I had it right now, you would all know. You would all know, because I would be crying. Like a bitch. Like, I would be crying so much. My string would be, like, floating around, like, should we say something? And he's embarrassing, so he's on stage. I don't want to say anything. Imagine if professional sports teams, like, name the best white basketball player right now. Who's not Steve Nash? Don't say Steve Nash. He doesn't count. He's not white. He's from Canada. Name another one. He's Russian. That dude, that's less white than Canadian. No, you can't name it. Everyone's always like, Larry Bird. Larry Bird's the best white basketball player ever. But he was like super overrated, because if you think about it, and I know, I'll back this up. I have a theory. Larry Bird was super overrated, because think about his entire career, everybody in the league had to wear shorts that only went down to like right here. That's no problem for Larry. That's no problem for Pistol Pete. You know, Bill Russell, none of them cared. But Magic, the Magical Johnson, yeah, he had a problem. Because that's an unfair advantage, because I don't know all the rules of basketball, but I'm pretty sure it's got to be like a technical foul if your dick falls out of your shorts, right? So, it's pretty hard to cover Larry Bird when you're like, keep pulling your shorts down, right? Yeah, watch the tapes. It's less impressive, now that you know my theory. I saw something pretty awesome the other day. This is not a lie. This is a true story. I saw a drug-sniffing dog in action. It was awesome. And what it was doing was, this girl was pulled over, and it was at a gas station, so I was getting gas in my car. This girl was pulled over, and the cop was talking to her. She was outside of her car. She was just shaking her head. She was probably saying like, no, no, no. He was probably asking her like, do you have drugs? And she was like, no, no, no. And then he's like, well, I'm going to get the drug-sniffing dog. And she just was like, and I didn't hear what she said, but it looked like she was just like, fuck. And so the drug-sniffing dog comes out, and this dog his tail was wagging. Like, he was super excited. It was a gorgeous dog. I mean, that dog his hair was washed with shampoo. And not like for dogs, for people. That's Paul Mitchell. That shampoo couldn't even be bought at Walmart. They're taking care of that dog. And it was weird to me, because then I started thinking, like, this is kind of a backwards situation. Hold on, everybody. Get a good one. All right. I was thinking, like, this is kind of a... Well, he was taking a photo. They took photos last time, and I wasn't real happy with how mine turned out. So sorry. Can I get back on track? Guy in the Hawaiian shirt, you've been commenting on like every comic tonight. I got about 30 minutes through my set. I thought, oh, I'm not even going to have to comment. And they're like, what was that? Everybody else got it. But then I started thinking about drug-sniffing dogs. Like, do drug sniffing dogs, like, do they have, like, dreams of one day, like, being promoted to bomb sniffing dogs? They're just like, I'm gonna pass that exam. I'm gonna get my bomb badge and the vest, and I'm gonna, no more sniffing bags of weed out of beeholes for me. I'm gonna move up one day, get out of the shitty doghouse, get into a double-decker dog. They probably didn't think this much in me. I could just keep going. Move it along, right? But then I think about bomb sniffing dogs. Like, do bomb sniffing dogs, are they like, are bomb sniffing dogs, they smell the same thing. So do they ever like smell some pothead? Like, yes, I can smell, I know you got your bomb. Get the fuck out of my way. I got bigger shit to deal with now. I'm on a case for looking for a bomb. Or how about this? Does a drug sniffing dog ever he's like sniffing out weed, and then he gets a whiff of a bomb, so he chases it, and then the commissioner calls him in, he's like, Officer Kills! How many times do I have to tell your mangy ass? Leave that to the bomb sniffers! I don't want to hear it, Kibbles! Damn it! You are this close to getting kicked up to the curb like the mutt you are! You're out of your jurisdiction, Kibbles! Does everyone else enjoy this act out where I'm yelling at a dog for trying to save people by searching out a bomb? Good. Now we're in the 20-minute portion of jokes I wrote related to animals. That was the first 7 of them. Who watches the show Whale Wars? Anybody know the show Whale Wars? Yeah. All right, thank God that one guy said it. For those of you who don't watch the show Whale Wars, it doesn't matter if you do or don't. This is what it's about. Whale Wars is about, like, saving the whales. It's about stopping people from fishing whales. But that's not what I thought it was about when I heard the name of the show. I thought Whale Wars was going to be a show that was kind of about, like, gangs of whales, like, fighting for territory in the ocean. Like, a sperm whale swims into, like, beluga whale territory, and they're like, this is the Pacific, bitch! And they beat him up, and they're like, don't swim around here by yourself. Jizz whale, get out. Sperm whale. Did everybody get it? That's a derogatory term that the belugas use. The killer whale gang, that's got to be the toughest one to get into, right? Shamu runs it. He's a psycho. You want to get into the killer whale gang? You want to get into the killer whale game? Well, you got to kill a trainer at SeaWorld. That's like the only way in. Do it, so we can give you your teardrop tattoo. Free Willy. I do like pets. David used one of my jokes about the pet pranks, but I like dogs. I'm not much of a cat person, but I love dogs. I love pet dogs. Because I think that pets really make the best friends. Like they do. But there's some things about your friendship with your pet that are just like your friendships with other humans. Like you can't ever be just friends after you have sex with them. Like it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird no matter what. It's like I'm waiting for you to move out. I don't think you can afford this place on your own. Was that the light a second ago? Yeah. How long have I been up here? 45 minutes. No, that's even bad. Hold on. This is what I'm checking. Dude, I've been up here like 40 minutes. I know, I'm just kidding. You need to cut that. Were you taking a picture?
No, I was lighting it.
Oh, well, whatever.
I didn't want to light you because you're the headline. You're in the world. Take your time.
I'm taking my time.
That's what you have.
Hey, you know what grosses me out?
What?
Really old dudes trying to pick up college girls. What's up with that? That's gross. Every time I see that, every time I see a really old dude trying to pick up a college girl, I just want to ask that guy a bunch of questions like, are you Benjamin Button? Huh? Are those balls going to sag less tomorrow morning? What is in this for her? Oh, you're rich? Well, sorry, I didn't know. That's the way. That's the rules of the game. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I am. Like, dude.
I'm fucking with you.
Okay, I don't know what you're doing, but it is.
Keep going, Ross.
Seriously, right?
Bitch.
I'm not prejudiced towards people regardless of like, race, religion, or anything. I have no prejudice towards people. I am prejudiced towards certain ethnic foods. I will be like Italian. I'm not gonna put Italian in my body. All those carbs? No, I'm not gonna do that. Mexican food? I'm not gonna eat that. All that sodium? No way. Chinese food? No, I don't eat cat food. I'm not gonna do that. That didn't get a good laugh, but now people are wondering, like, when did they start making cat food out of dogs? You gotta think about it. That got an awe, the dog thing got an awe, but you just heard the pet sex bit and everyone loved it. I always try to look on the bright side of life, no matter what happens. I think everybody should. Even if something crappy has to happen for you. Like, say that you have to ride public transportation, like you gotta ride the bus. Don't think about it like, man, I gotta ride this disgusting bus. Think about it like, oh, today I'm going to work in my big dirty limo full of strangers. It's a party in here. I'm gonna pour champagne all over this crusty old guy. He loves it. All right, I'm just gonna, maybe I'll skip to the good stuff. Time ran out of me pretty quick, because he said he was kidding, but then he was like, no, but for real, and he's like, no, I'm just kidding. So I don't know what that dude is doing. Is he here just to fuck things up, like make the show go bad? What is he doing? I want to know, like, that's a serious question. I need to calm my shit down up here. I was almost getting mad. I wish my gym had a mandatory retirement age. I think every gym should. Because there are some old guys that don't know when to call it quits. They just should. I've seen some pretty old guys in my gym, and I know that they're like way too old to be working out because they're getting a spot from the Grim Reaper. And it's like, come on, Merv. Like in his hood, he's like, come on, Merv. He can't lift weights. He's just lifting the stick with the thing on it, whatever it is. You guys can picture it. This one guy, he was way too old. I saw him in there. He was running on the treadmill. His balls got caught in the thing, and he started spinning around and around. He was like, Jane, stop this crazy thing. That was a Jetsons reference. Those of you who aren't old. Yeah, the DJ doesn't know.
No one else does.
Does anybody, okay, do you guys think that for Halloween, Lady Gaga dresses up like a regular person? You guys think that she might do that? Because I do. And then when she's a regular person, like, it's probably, like, you have no idea, you can't even recognize her. The only thing that could tip you off is that 14-pound nose in the middle of her face. Like, it's there, let's admit it. We've all seen it. You can wear whatever goofy hat you want. It's not gonna hide the moon rock in the middle of your face. I'm sorry, that's a mean joke, but she's rich, and I'm not, so she wins. That's how it works. Let's say whatever I want. Can you guys do me a favor and clap if you were spanked as a child? Yeah, of course you were. Of course you were, because you're here tonight. I knew it, because like the people who weren't spanked as a child, they never show up to stuff like this. Like you never just see them like out and about hanging out. They can't. They're in prison. They can't do anything. They didn't have discipline. We're all better for that. I'm better for it. My mom spanked me. But my mom did, like every parent has her own style. It's like every batter has his own batting stance, his own swing. My mom's style was pretty cool, because it was, cool is the word I use, because my mom's here. But it was like one of those people where, like some people over the lap, some people like, laying down. My mom was like, hands against the wall, spread your legs. She did that, and she was a cop about to violate some civil rights. And so, but I was 5 years old, so I was like doing the 5-year-old butt cover, like, just with all the 5-year-old strength in my hands trying to keep my ass from getting smacked. But then my mom was smart, she wasn't an idiot, so she'd fake a nut tap, I'd move my hands, and leave my ass wide open. Mom got it. But the thing that my mom did was she held on to spankings like a little bit too long. She like let us get too old to the point where like she really couldn't hurt us with her hands, so she started using like kitchen utensils like wooden spoons. And then it got almost comical because I'm like, I'm 14. You look like a fool. But batter up. Go ahead. Like, is this the wheelhouse? Go swing away. Go ahead. Go ahead. The big hurt Frank Thomas. My mom looks just like Frank Thomas. Not the White Sox player, the guy from Wendy's. Is that his name? Dave Thomas. Well, you guys laughed. Some of you laughed. I thought I was right. I thought I was right. I'm going to, I got that light a while ago. I've been like going rogue, I guess. But I don't give a shit. My smartphone makes me look like an idiot all the time because it's just a lot smarter than I am. But it messes with me, like autocorrect. Everyone has problems with autocorrect. My smartphone also has problems where like I will be typing something and whenever I type the word tonight, spelled T-O-N-I-T-E, like Marquis spelling, T-O-N-I-T-E, my phone autocorrects it to the word robots. How is that your best guess? Did you even look at the context? I said I typed sounds good, dude. See you later. Robots? Is that good guess, smartphone? Jack was in here, he was talking about how he wishes his phone had a breathalyzer. I wish I just lost my phone. I wish I lost my phone every time I'm drunk. Because my phone is like, when I get drunk, my smartphone becomes like that shitty friend who eggs you on to make terrible decisions. It's like, oh, come on, it's gonna be awesome. Just do it. And it's like, so like, I'm like drunk and I'm like, where's my phone? Where's my buddy's smartphone? And he's like, hey, I got an idea. Let's call up an ex-girlfriend and tell her how their comedy's going. Like, she didn't pick up. Oh, well, that's okay. Let's just send a dick pic. And then the next day you're like, why'd you let me do that, smartphone? Why did you let me send a picture of it soft? That makes zero sense. It made me look like an even bigger ass than the guy who just sends regular dick pics.
Same card.
All right. Was that light for real or not? You're right here. Was it for real or was it for not?
What?
Was it for real or was it for not? Is that not clear?
Yeah.
Okay, you answered yeah. I asked. There were two parts that could have been. Is it yeah? All right. So it was. All right.
My attire.
All right. Well then, I'll decide what I want to wrap it up with. All right. I'll do a few more things. I don't like seeing old guys pick up really at a bar, but I do like seeing guys who have really creative pickup lines to it. My favorite are guys who make their pickup lines based off of Disney movies. So you'd be like, baby, you can call me Cruella de Vil, because I'm going to get my hands on those puppies. It was the last thing I do. It was the last thing I do. You're like, hey, guess what? Just tested negative for herpes. So Hakuna Matata, girl. Yeah. If I was anybody been to Indiana Beach? Then you know Indiana Beach has a slogan like proving once again that there's more than corn in Indiana. I've lived in Indiana for 21 years. I'll call bullshit Indiana Beach. Bullshit. I'll call it. Well, I mean, yeah, technically there's more than just corn. I didn't know we were counting meth labs. I didn't know that. I can say that. Guys, I can say that. Some of my best friends are meth labs. Now doesn't even make sense why people laugh at that. I just say it so I can ask people, why did you laugh at that? It's not a joke. A meth lab can't be my friend. I'll do one more thing. I guess, since that light 20 minutes ago was real. Okay. I wish that comedy shows had chants, like so comedy fans could cheer something when, like, at a sporting event, but there aren't any. So, like, I want to start some where, like, the fans could be like, here we go, next joke, here we go. Here we go, next joke. Like when Nathan's on stage, I don't know where he went, but that'd be like, or if it could just be like, you know, just like kind of ramp it up, like next joke, next joke, next joke, next joke, next joke, next joke. Next joke. There isn't one. I'm sorry, guys. That was my time. I'll get off the stage now. I'm Ross Blankenship. You guys have been awesome. I want to thank everybody for coming out. This is our dream, but thank you guys so much for supporting us. This is a dream that will never come true without really supportive friends, family, and great audiences. That's what you guys have been tonight. You guys are great. Thank you guys.
Do you see how that happens and then the white guy leaves? Like, he blames it on the black guy, like totally. You guys,
Witness that.
did you enjoy everything? Give a round of applause if you enjoyed the show. First of all, I want to apologize.
Did you guys enjoy the show?
Give it up for the people on stage. Give it up for the people on stage right now. And Nathan's hugging me, so.
By the way, you guys have to sign waivers because we are filming it here.
You guys, thank you for coming out to Night Comedy 2. We will be doing this again the first Thursday, September 1st. Hey, there's a lot of love right now. It's real serious. It's real serious. You guys, thank you for coming out. I very much appreciate it. Rob very much appreciates it.
Thank you guys so
Apparently,
much.
Nathan appreciates a lot of things right now. I'm sure you appreciate it, sir. Come out next time, please. Please wear that shirt next time. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. All over again. You guys have a good night. Enjoy. Please drink up. Have some more drinks. And you guys have a great evening.
There's also an outdoor patio. You can go out there and
Yeah, so
enjoy
you
the
can
nice
get some
weather.
air. So you can get some air. And I'm crying.
And DJ Paul will be playing some
It's like I
stuff.
just watched The Notebook. It's really serious. Like I have tears coming out of my eyes.
Did you guys have a good time tonight?
All right, guys, have a good night, and thank you for coming.